difficult for me to walk away from this because there's been so much attempt to damage me as a person, my businesses, and my children. And why they may not, while it comes from a selfish place because you can say, "Oh, I'm all about this with my own child," but
Mhm.
what about this man with his own children?
And I think that's what people seem to forget, because that's what I always pounded in, when I would blog about it. It was like,
Yeah,
y'all keep talking about Porsha and his house, but you don't realize she kicked his kids out the house. That was their house as well. They had a nanny, they had a life, they were going back and forth to school. And so all of that changed. And then it's just,
and when you provided an opportunity to show empathy, you can't even do that when one of my exes calls about my son's bookshelf with his collection of anime that he holds very, very dear to him. And you use that opportunity to offer up to pay a month's child support and come take the paperwork, well, not even the paperwork, to come talk about it in court.
Any other expenses that you've covered of his work order? Yes, I paid his child support for his two sons. And I also paid maintenance for the house. So that's outside of utilities as well.
To use your words, everybody's guilty in this situation because she didn't have to accept it when it was offered.
Mm-hmm.
But she accepted it.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't like the narrative that came out of it.
Mm-hmm.
She should not have accepted it. But the fact that you accepted it, you now were dragged
Now
into
part
a
of the
situation.
story.
You're not part of the story.
Yeah. This is Marsha right here, right? Marsha is Simon's first wife. Marsha said, "I heard that Porsha said I reached out begging for child support. Untrue. This is the message I received from her." Porsha says, "Hi, Marsha. This is Porsha. I got your number from Lauren, my assistant. She said you called about asking about the bookshelf for the boys." Now, you remember I told y'all that the boys had rooms there. The boys had a nanny there. The boys would go to and from school there. They lived there 50% of the time. Okay. They lived with, Simon and Porsha and Pilar.
But if you want me to be quiet, I don't have that personality. I don't have the personality to be quiet. I'm a sweetheart, but don't get on my bad side.